Well, and then of course, then came the Hollywood glamour of Nancy Reagan. So, when we think about her, we go back to the long and rich life that this woman led. I know her husband is still in hospice at this point. How do you think Rosalynn Carter will be remembered?
Well, I do think, you talk about the long and rich life. It's also just astonishing to look at the length and success of their marriage. They married very
77
young,
years. Yep.
77 years. I mean, that's got to approach some kind of a record. I don't know. Maybe it is a record for first couples, but even in human existence, that's quite quite astonishing. They were both from the same part of rural Georgia and grew up together. So there was, and they got together at a very young age. So there was something about the two of them together and their journey through life and into politics, and then this very, very long post-presidential career that I think, in some ways that will be a central part of how she's remembered, as someone who was really always there at Jimmy Carter's side his whole career. And, I think we're learning too, speaking as a historian, all public figures, all famous figures in history who are men, I shouldn't say all, but most, more than we think, are in fact quite reliant on their wives. Their wives are often deeply involved in their careers. They're thinking about things. I'm thinking of Coretta Scott King, particularly with the new Martin Luther King biography by Jonathan Ive, shows just how important she was. And it occurred to me, she has not had a proper biography. We see this with some other first ladies who are kind of retrospectively getting their due. And I think, more and more we will turn and discover this about women in a lot of different fields at a time when maybe the same career options weren't available to them because of sexism, because women weren't welcomed into many different professions in the same way. They took a role behind the scenes in shaping the careers of their husbands. And I think, it will be interesting. There have been some very good recent biographies of Jimmy Carter, but as we go forward, for historians to look more into precisely the role and the influence that she played in his career and his success.
Yeah. What's the old aphorism? Behind every man stands a great woman. I think one thing that certainly is remarkable that she stood to his side, and he was very open about that. So, David, thank you for joining us. We're talking about Rosalynn Carter, and appreciate your insights on her and also the other first ladies.
Glad to be with you. Thanks a lot.